Hello there, Runnineers. It's Manny again, and we got a long video today because we're gonna go over the whole RunDisney.com page, the web page. So we're gonna go over the whole thing. I'm gonna give you a bunch of information. That way, the whole goal of this video is that at the very end, I want you to be able to look up any question that you have. You're gonna be able to find the answer, and you're going to be able to just go, oh yeah, I saw Manny said it was right here, so it's right here, so this is where it's going to be. And that way you can get some for yourself. If people ask online, you can direct them right to it. But we're going to go over that shortly. Before we do, guys, please keep subscribing to the channel. Subscriptions are going up, which is awesome, but we want to hit a goal. This is going to be about 1,500. I think it's a doable goal this season, so let's see if we can get to 1,500. I actually have some cool things to talk about, some giveaways, some experience giveaways, which for Marathon Weekend, for Disneyland Half Marathon Weekend, which I'll probably do in a later video, but it's going to be something that I got to think about, but it's going to be really, really cool. So please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification, so that way when these things drop, hopefully things like this can enhance your experiences at these runs, because these runs are basically about experiences. But without further ado, let's move on to some topics. So real quick, I'm going to go over stuff that there's two things that I think are going to be announced very, very soon, before the end of the year, and I think even sooner than that. Number one is going to be Coast to Coast. So if you notice, and if you go to the RunDisney.com page, where we're going to go to in a little bit, they only have the 2024 tracks, track 1 and track 2. So 2025 is less than a month and a half away. So we do know that they're going to have to drop pretty soon. So I do believe that in the next few weeks, maybe even sooner than that, but probably within a month, we are going to get the tracks for the Coast to Coast. Now, the second thing that I think is going to drop before the end of the year or shortly after is the 2025-2026 Run Disney season. And that is going to drop pretty soon. So now if you notice, and we're going to go to the RunDisney.com page, you see that they have the fall 2025 events, which is Disneyland Halloween and Wine and Dine at Disney World. They are already up, but I believe that they're going to have the rest of the season coming up pretty soon. Registration is coming, so that way you guys are going to know when to register, when we're going to be registering. So registration actually starts in a few weeks. So we're going to be starting off with Disneyland half marathon, the Halloween half marathon in a couple of weeks. That's one of the reasons that I am going to be making this video when it comes to RunDisney.com. And the reason is because people will sign up and then they go, man, I didn't know about this, but there's going to be a bunch of this information that we're going to go over pretty soon, and you're going to be able to have you're going to be more educated, so that way when you sign up, you know what you're getting into. But that, again, because this is coming very, very soon, that's why I'm going to do the video on this. But even before that, we have some bit of news. The medals for the Princess Half Marathon Weekend 2025 Princess Half Marathon Weekend have dropped. Let's take a look at them. So for the 5K, we got Mulan and Shan Yu, the hero and the villain. For the 10K, we got Princess Jasmine and Jafar, but look at the genie's lamp on top. This is so cool. For the half marathon, we got Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent. It's a spinner. And then for the challenge, it's Snow White and the Evil Queen, and it's also a spinner. So I think they're amazing. I like them. I love the 10K with Princess Jasmine and Jafar. The genie lamp on top, I think, is a great, great medal. I think they're getting a little bit more elaborate. I was just having a conversation with someone about this, saying that, man, they're getting so elaborate. There's so many spinners, so many mini spinners, so many little things going on, that there's a chance that they're going to start breaking down. So that is the downfall. But the good thing is, you see medals behind me. I have tons of medals, hundreds of them. And on the most part, they basically stay okay. Now, one of the things that people do not know or do not use is when the paint starts chipping, you can go to your paint store and they can match the paint, and they have little brushes so you can paint and there's good quality paint that you can paint on them to make sure that you get that. Now, once they break, it becomes a little bit harder. But overall, going back to Princess, I think they're great. I love them. Now, one of the things that made me think is, I said, man, when you get these medal reveals, I bet you there's going to be some people out there that say, I should have signed up. Man, now that I see the medals, I should have signed up. There's going to be another group that say, man, I saw the medals. Why did I sign up for these? And so, which one are you? Are you happy that you signed up? Are you happy that you didn't sign up? Are you upset that you signed up? And I mean, what is going on? Because again, these are about experiences, and part of the experience is the bling. And so you see it behind me. And so, what do you guys think? What is your thoughts now that we've seen these medals? Now, this video is going to be long. This next part is going to be long, but please bear with me. I go over a lot of information about RunDisney.com. And remember, we're about to start basically with the sign-up season. We just started with the season. We got 4 more runs to go going into 2025. We got virtuals. So this is going to break everything down so that you can be better educated to see if it is the right thing to do, sign up for certain races. So now you're going to know what you're getting into. Let's just get right into it. So we're just going to start off on the front page. So this is the front page of the RunDisney.com page. If you notice at the very top right up here, it's going to have the 2025 fall races. So this is going to include Disneyland. There's a Halloween one in September, and the Wine and Dine, which is a little bit earlier. So I believe that this is going to change within the next month or so, maybe even sooner than that. But it's going to change, and it's going to give the whole 2025-2026 season. So as we scroll down, discover the most enchanting running events on Earth, and it's going to give you little synopsis, a theme park race experiences, magical entertainment and medals. The medals are cool. Legendary Disney service. All right, so then check out our featured events. So you're going to be able to look at them if you click on view details, which we will shortly. We will be able to see everything, but you can see the theming right there, which is really, really cool. We've gone over that. Run in the midst of the magic. So yes, you get to run inside the parks. Celebrate in style. People wear the costumes. Obviously, I never do. Team up for more fun. There's a lot of ways that you can do that. You can do it directly, indirectly, through a charity, outside on your own. Maybe even make friends. One of the most uncommon way that people do this is they just do this where they make friends when they're on the track, on the course. It's really, really cool. Browse upcoming races. This is going to be, and it says view all the events, which we will do shortly. Well, we're going to review some of them, but this is mainly how to look at this site. So the virtual run, so we'll look at those in a little bit. Ready, set, Run Disney. Discover the magic again. Run Disney Vacation, so they're going to give you, where to get the hotel, so forth and so on. Virtual runs in the middle, and learn more about Club Run Disney. Again, we'll go over that in a little bit. On the bottom part, which we'll also look at in a little bit, is going to be the blogs. So it's gonna give you basically updates on the blogs. Some of these update on a regular basis, some of them do not. So, there's something that you can look at. Stay in touch with Run Disney. Join our mailing list. Again, it's a crapshoot. Some people say they never ever get emails. Other people say they get a lot of them. I always do. It seems like when I hear something drop shortly after, I actually get an email. So I myself will get that. Send us an email with your question about Run Disney. Contact us. So this is going to be just for if you want to get in contact with them. It's a general one. We're going to see this after a while. And then at the bottom, there's just like this menu that say events, training, plan your trip, results, about Run Disney exhibitors and medical volunteers. That's a good one right there. So just in case you are going to volunteer, help and support, and the community, and we're going to be able to look at that. But stay connected. So they do have Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and Pinterest. Pinterest. Okay. So now we're going to go back up on the top, and we're going to click on events. So when we click on events, it is going to see all races. So the first tab is going to have the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, and it's going to give you the 4 that are there. The second one is going to be Disneyland Resort California. It's going to give you the 2 that are there. Then we're going to go to the virtual runs, and there's usually now up to 3. So I'm not sure if they're going to add a 4th one. That might be one that they might add just because of the different seasons. I can see them doing it. I'm not 100% sure that they will do that. But the virtual runs are no longer part of the regular runs. So you got your 3 right here so far. and the Run Disney Coast to Coast, which they have brought back. And again, we're going to go over that in a little bit. So when you click on any of these, you're going to be able to see what's going on. Now, the first one already happened, so let's click on that one. So this just happened a few weeks ago. So when you look at this, it is basically bare because it is empty. Now, we do have next year's already. So that one has not refreshed to this point yet for the 2025, but that one will refresh pretty soon, especially getting closer to the day of registration, which I believe is the first week in February. So late January, early February, it should update with all the new information. But let's go to the next one, which is Disney World Marathon Weekend, so we can see what's going on here. So of course you're going to have the theming up on top, and each one of the runs will have a theming up on top. It's also going to have a countdown, so you notice the countdown is up to date. So right here it says 49 days, 10 hours, 4 minutes, and 10, 9, 9, 8, 7, and it continues to count down. So this is for the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend, January 8th through the 12th of 2025. In case you ever have any questions about registration when you're going to register, you're going to be able to look out here and see the dates. So it's not an excuse. I have seen this before, very rarely, but I have seen it before saying, I didn't know what the dates were when I signed up. They're right here. And they're going to be on each one of the individual runs right here this weekend events. So you're going to be able to see the 5K, the 10K, the half, the full, the challenge, so Goofy challenge and Dopey challenge, and you're going to be able to see the prices. Now, all of them are sold out. We're going to crawl down a little bit over here. So it just basically gives that it is the 20th anniversary of the Goofies and half challenge. So the Dopey, so that they will give you some information in case that you say, is it an anniversary run? What's an anniversary run? It's just every like 5 years. So it could. There's really nothing inaugural right now. Maybe a springtime surprise would bring something, but not anytime soon. So when we scroll down, we see our celebrated charity. Each one of the runs is going to have a different charity: Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So Team in Training, and I have actually raised money for them. I've actually been a coach for them. They're a pretty good charity to run with. And so you can click on there to learn more. We'll show you some other stuff in a little bit. Our sponsors, so when you get your shirts, all these are going to be on there. So you can't have runs without sponsors because they actually pay for a lot of what we will be getting. And then we stay in touch with Run Disney, join our mailing list, contact us, so forth and so on. So now we're going to continue going up here because you notice there's a bar, weekend overview, and this is the first one. So it's going to drop down to events. Now, events will have its own little bar with the 5K, 10K, half, marathon, and challenges. So we're just going to look at one, so that way you have an idea. So in case that you want to look at a different race, you know exactly where to go. So when you look at this is Marathon Weekend. This is, of course, for the 2025 one. It's not going to change much over the years, so you can continue looking at this. But let's say the 5K. It's going to give you the specific date, the start time, and we will look at the marathon because that's going to have a different start time. So you can see the difference. It's going to have the catchphrase, to channel your inner Pluto and race 3.1 miles like a dog with a bone. And so this is basically just, the catchphrase. That's the medal is going to be Pluto. The character is going to be Pluto. And so he is year after year. He has been for the last probably 4 or 5 years. Before that, I'm trying to remember who it was. I know that Oswald was involved there for a while. I think it was Minnie. Minnie has now moved over. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Minnie was a 10K, and she moved over to be with Mickey, which is cool. That's her place to be there. But this is for future ones too. It's so once they start populating before you register, Club Run Disney Gold and Platinum registration begins, and it'll give you the date. Now, this is way past due because it was this past April. General registrations opens up a week later, and it gives you the time also. So this is what happens. So the reason there's no time for the Club Run Disney is because they send you a link. So the link will either be emailed to you or you can log in, which we'll see in a little bit. You can log into your account, and guess what? You can actually see that there. So you're going to have a week. Basically, I want to say it's 6 or 7 days to register. If you don't register by that time, then you become a mere mortal and you go through the general registration, and it gives you the time. Now, remember this, and this is when the one thing I always say on my registration videos, it's 10 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure that you adjust just in case you're Central Mountain or if you live outside of the United States. Registration fees varies based on the date of purchase. So anything from up until October 7th was a certain amount. Then it goes up like $10 if you register afterward. So these are only because they sell out so quickly. This is going to be for people that actually get the Telegram or the X, and then they click on there, or they just log in and they can see the price. Okay, so starting October 8th, they're going to notice that it's a little bit more expensive. So, but usually that includes, and it says right there, the service fee. So that includes that. So that's usually going to be your total. Okay. So that's it, and then it's going to give you the highlights. So this one is you run. Usually we run through Epcot, 5K. See an array of characters, 5K finisher medal, on course, post race refreshments, participant shirts, digital expo and event guide, downloadable finisher certificate. And we'll look at that. Proof of time guidelines, and this is the one we're going to go over. We're going to go over it right here so that way you guys can know. The thing about it is proof of time is not required for the 5K or the 10K races, but they do have this right here. So you will select your anticipated pace per mile when you register. This is what I try to tell people all the time. You're going to have to be very, very careful with this because a lot of people will put times faster because they want to start earlier so they can get characters because they're afraid of being swept, especially in the longer races. But what you do is you can clog up the runs for other people. So what I always tell people to do is what you should do, trust your training. Make sure that you trust your training. Make sure that you run, and we're going to go over that in a little bit. They're going to, Disney always says, train for 15-minute miles, but we're going to go over that in a little bit. So for starting placement, anticipated pace per mile must be selected by the participant for each individual race. If someone else registered you, your anticipated pace per mile must be selected by the person who registered you. What this means basically is you're going to pick your time, your estimated time. If somebody's registering you, then they're going to have to pick that. So you may change your anticipated time per mile until the deadline, and it's going to give you the deadline here. Now, this one is July, so July 1st of 2024, no changes will be made after that date. So if you're going to get a proof of time so that you can try to see if you can get an earlier corral, make sure that you look at these dates, because once you get after these dates, I have seen it time and time again. I'm still seeing this right now saying, hey, I missed out because for whatever reason. Where can I change it? Well, you can't anymore. So the bibs are already being made, so your corral has already been set, and they're not going to change it at the expo. Once in a long while they will. I wouldn't recommend trying to go up there because you're probably going to be disappointed, but I always recommend trust your training. So if a start group reaches capacity, you will be placed in the next available start group. I've actually never seen that happen, but it's there. And so make sure that you understand it's a rule. Anticipated pace per mile selections must be made within your participant account and cannot be accepted via email. So in other words, make sure that you make your changes, and we're going to show you how to go into your account and be able to change that. Again, if somebody else registered your account, your anticipated pace per mile selection must be made to your registration within the account for the person who registered you and cannot be accepted via email. So in other words, again, don't email them and say, hey, I just ran this race and wow, I really killed it. Now I want to change. They're not going to do anything. So any questions, and it's going to give you the email, which I'll go over right here. It's DisneySports@TrackShack.com. I have met the Track Shack people. They are fantastic people. They are great people, but they have a job to do. So you got to remember that. So when you go up there and you got to talk to them, first of all, just talk to them. Don't get angry. Don't get anything. But you got to remember, anything that you're going to approach them with, they probably already heard. They probably get about 10 people, and I'm going to say 10 people at the minimum, complaining about their corrals, per race. But they're going to get a lot of information. They're going to get a lot more people than that. So all right, let's continue on. Important information. So all races are registered to subject. All races are subject to age eligibility requirements and capacity limits. So again, it's going to go into more detail in a little bit. Prior to the participating in any exercise program, you should see your doctor, so forth and so on. That one I do agree with, because again, if you have a medical condition, see a doctor, a medical professional will be able to diagnose it and let you know, and that way it could make your training, it can make your runs just so much better. So during the race weekend. We may implement health and safety measures such as face coverings, which really has not happened even when we came back from the pandemic. Physical distancing, again, it didn't really happen, or other requirements if deemed appropriate. Please visit our race weekend policies page for the latest information. And we see our sponsors, whatever, but we are going to click on that, the race policies, and let's see what it is. It's a great experience for participants and whatever. So, okay. So I thought it was going to be a little bit more, but there probably is going to be something in there. So, okay, let's go back to events because I promised you I was going to show you something a little bit different. So the marathon here, and where is the marathon? How come it's not popping up? There it is. Okay. So the marathon is Sunday, January 12, 2025. Look at that. 4:30 a.m. Eastern time is the starting time. So you can see that it is different. So that has been updated. Let's look at the challenges just in case. And the challenge is going to be right here. So you're going to have Goofies and you're going to have Dopey. And it's going to give you some information. It's just like the other one. So just make sure that you look at it. If you have any questions about a specific race or specific challenge, they are going to be right here. Runner information. Now this is going to be updated as we go too. So there's going to be more updates, more clickable things as we go. The official digital expo and event guide. Now, on the top part right up here, it says the official digital expo and event guide contains the information you'll need for this weekend, as well as great offers and special items just for race participants and so forth. So check back closer to the event time for the link this year's guide. So it'll become blue, just like down here where there's the clickable stuff. So it'll become blue. You're going to be able to click it. Obviously, I'll make a video about it and I'll go over it, but that way you can look at it, okay? Digital waiver forms, you must sign these. So usually the best way to do it is you're going to be able to log into your account. You're going to be able to look at it. It's going to tell you to sign it. Now, the one thing you have to do is save it. That's the one thing that a lot of people don't do. They don't save it, so it still keeps coming up. So if you look at your page, it'll say save. You're going to save it, and no worries if you cannot do it or for some reason that doesn't pop up on your side. You can do this at the expo. So as long as you have you're still going to have your ID. But if you look at any of my expo videos, you're going to be able to see that you can just walk up there, print it out, sign it right there, and then you're going to be able to get your bib. So that's not the worst thing in the world. Expo check-in pass, you will get that approximately the Monday before the run. So now this is what it says. Your check-in pass is required to pick up your bib for each event in which you're participating. An event could be one challenge. An event can be 3 runs, actually up to 4 runs, depending on how you do it. But for example, the one that's coming up is this marathon weekend. Let's say you signed up for a 5K and a half marathon, okay? So you're going to have to get 2 check-in passes. You're going to get one for the 5K, and it's going to have your bib number. It's not going to have your corral. You only get your corral until you pick up your bib. And then you're going to have a second one that for the half marathon, and it's going to have your bib number. And again, you're going to need that there to pick up, and that's when you're going to get your corral information. So don't be asking when you know what corral it is. We don't know 100%. You can kind of guesstimate, but it's really up to you. Okay. So now going back to you're doing 2 runs, but let's say you're doing 1 challenge. Well, you're going to only need 1 check-in pass, and it's going to be 1 check-in pass. The only difference is going to be that if you're doing Dopey, historically they have given us 2 bibs. So usually on every other challenge you get 1 bib for challenges, whether 2 or 3 runs. But if you're doing Goofy or Dopey, you're going to get 1 check-in, 1 expo check-in. For Goofy you get 1 bib. For Dopey, you get 2 bibs. And so that's the only difference. But again, you'll get this about the Monday before the run, roughly. And again, if you get there, you don't know what to do, just go to information. They'll let you know how to get that. It's not going to be the worst scenario. Race bib and start group assignments. So each participant is assigned a race bib. Please wear the race bib centered in front of your outer garment. Now, people will wear it in different places as long as it's visible and you can see the number. That's the main thing, because what they want to do is to make sure that it's a legitimate bib, and so that way we do not want non-runner, not people who didn't pay for the run to get on there. And the reason is, again, they're cheating us Not only that, we don't know what they're what they're trying to do, and more than likely they're just trying to run, but they're trying to cheat the system. So we paid, they didn't pay. But I don't 100% know. I'm not for that. I always think to myself, just do it the right way and stuff. And again, if you try to cheat the system, you're more likely going to get banned. So in order to receive an accurate time, please confirm your bib is clearly visible, unaltered and unmodified, pinned on all four corners. Sometimes they tear. That's why I wear the little pop-in things instead of the clips. Sorry, I don't use those anymore. Not covered with a shirt, jacket, or winter wear, runner's belts, or water bottles. So yeah, try to take it at the outer. That's gonna be it might be the hardest one, but try to get it on the outer layer of your clothes. If a participant is seen without their bib number while running the course, they will be removed from the course for security and safety reasons. That's obvious. The letter on your bib will determine your assigned starting group. Starting groups are assigned based on proof of time, based on the half marathon, or your estimated finishing time. Starting groups are based on anticipated pace per mile for the 5K and the 10K. No starting group changes will be made at the Run Disney Health and Fitness Expo. Again, you can try. I wouldn't. Just trust your training. Remember to fill out the emergency medical information on the back of your bib. You still remember this. When you registered, you filled it out anyway, but this is a good backup. So for any information, review race policies, so forth and so on. Gear bag check. This is going to be pretty easy. And you see the picture of the clear one that they give you. This is the only one acceptable. You cannot bring your own bags, okay? So it'll be issued, and it says right here, issued to you at bib pickup. No other bags will be accepted. Okay, they will write your bib number. They will put it away. So if you want to, especially the final day, you want to take a picture with all your medals, whatever it is, whatever you want to take an extra shirt because you want to change, whatever it is, you're going to go right into the parks, do whatever you want to. But this is a way that you do that. It's going to be very easy. There's signs everywhere to tell you where you're going to go. So score some goodies and shop. Okay, so this one I'm not going to go over a lot because there is going to be a lot of stuff to shop about and stuff. Awards and information. Oh, awards information. This is actually cool. So these are the overall placements based on start times, and include overall male, overall female, overall male and female for the wheelchair, and the top three in the male and female military. Same thing for the half. So they have that. So get started on race. Ooh, here it goes. And they start doing this to plan your trip, so give you some vacation stuff. So of course they want you to stay on property, and when I do the registration video, you're going to see that they're going to ask a question about, are you staying on property? How many people? How many? I don't even know they ask how many days, but they do ask. Get expert training. You guys know how I feel about Jeff Galloway. He's a great, awesome person. He's usually now, because of circumstances, he is now one of the characters on Stop. He's usually one of the last characters, and I love seeing Jeff. I always go and interact with him, and we'll go over his training stuff. But here goes our sponsors and so forth. Okay, so now we're going to go to the expo. Now remember, we're not going to go to each one of them. We're just going to kind of glance at them. And so here is the expo information. A lot of people have been asking, hey, I can't find it. It's right here. So all you're going to do is click on, again, whatever race you're going to be on. You're going to look at the top bar. It's going to say expo. The expo is going to give you the days and the times, okay? The days and the times. So it's going to go over what each one, because there's going to be three distinct areas. Obviously, there's more stuff than that, but there's three distinct areas. One is the virtual queue. It's going to talk right here about the virtual queue. And this is to get merchandise. The virtual queue is usually only, I should say, is only needed on day one. And it might not even be the whole day one. So what they do is they do this so that not everybody goes in at the same time. If not, they're going to have a long line, and they still have somewhat of a line, but they try to control it so that not everybody's there. It still gets pretty packed in there. But the Gold and Platinum Club members, it's going to say on top, join the virtual queue early. So they don't need to join the virtual queue. I'm sorry, they can just go in there at their allotted times. So that I've yet to get. That I should get sometime in late December, early January. So you go in early to shop. I'm going to be able to record a lot better. That's going to be an awesome experience for me. So guests can join the virtual queue from the comfort of their hotel room or home within approximately 45 miles from the Walt Disney World property. And this one also is going to give you closer to there. It's going to give you a time. So right now I do not see a time here, but it's usually at about I think it's usually about 8:30, 9:30, something like that. It's about an hour or so before. So about 8:30 is usually what it is, and it'll give you the instructions. Usually you're going to be able to they're going to be different as of now for Disney World and Disneyland. In Disney World, you got to have people in your party. They got to be within your party. They got to be registered in there on your My Disney Experience. So let me even go further back, because this is going to be on your My Disney Experience. It's just like getting a virtual queue for any of the rides that are open right now. Tiana's is doing it. So you're doing that. Cosmic Rewind is doing it still. So you're going to have to pick the members of your party, and it's up to 6, I believe. And so you're going to pick them, and then of course you're going to get your virtual queue about 60 minutes before, roughly. They try to get you there. You can get called. You can actually go into once you get called, you can go into a staging area. So it might not get right in there, but each one of the people will have a QR code. And so each one, so if you have 6 people, it's not just going to be one QR code. You scan that one and say, hey, but these 5 people are with me. Each one is going to be there. So if you pick 5, people, there's going to be 5 QR codes. Now the difference in Disneyland is you usually just pick, if they say up to 5 people, then you're going to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the way you're going to do it. So you're going to be able to pick, and you're not going to have to specify. So there at Disneyland, at least as of now, you can show up and say, it's me and these 5 people behind me. They scan it once and say, all right, they're all are in. So that's the way it works. So, and again, we'll go over it a lot closer to the run. And let's go over, and the last one is going to be race policies. All right, so race policies, we saw the first one, but last time they didn't do this. So let's take a look at these. These are going to be really, really important. So now these are the kind of things, and I've said it before and I've said it again, and I love the friend of the channel, Michelle Michaels. I think she is awesome, because she really does tell people, hey, look at these things. And this is the one thing that I think is really underrated. People get so excited about running these races that they don't look at the race policies, and they're right here. So you got to look at the race policies to make sure that you understand what you're getting into. Because once a couple months have passed by, you say, well, I didn't know I was going to be able to do, So this is the race policy. So let's take a look at these. These are the general ones, okay? Registration fees for the Run Disney events, commemorative items, donations, and event-related purchases are non-refundable. So that means that, again, it's up to them. It's up to their discretion. They have been pretty lenient in the most recent past, where they actually do give back at least some of the money in a gift card, because of course they want you to do that. They're a business and they want you to do that. So when people sit there going like, well, the other races gave me a refund, why don't they and stuff? It's right here. It's right here. It's written for you right here. Run Disney reserves the right to refuse the entry into and or revoke any registration for any Run Disney event for any reason in its sole discretion without any liability. So in other words, you cannot sue them if they kick you out, or you do something. I have never seen or never heard, and I shouldn't say it, I've heard of people getting kicked out for certain reasons, usually, which is going to be to the next one. But I've never actually met anybody or seen anybody who's gotten kicked out. And I'll just move on. All right, so this one is going to be very important. Run Disney event entries and bibs are not transferable between individuals, between event weekends, or to events that have been reached to capacity sold out. Sale, trade, or transfer of the Run Disney event entry bib is strictly prohibited. Anybody caught attempting to sell, trade, or transfer their Run Disney event bib will to another person or participant, pick up another person's or participant's Run Disney event entry bib, or participate in a Run Disney event using another participant's Run Disney event entry bib, will have said Run Disney event entry bib canceled and or revoked, be disqualified, and be removed from the Run Disney event without refund, and may be barred from registering for any future Run Disney events. Participants must pick up all event merchandise before the end of the Run Disney Expo related to their Run Disney event. Uncollected merchandise will not be shipped to participants. Run Disney reserves the right to dispose of uncollected merchandise in any matter at their sole discretion. Dates, times, But that's the last thing right there. But guys, this means again, I cannot transfer. So if a race has reached capacity, I cannot. And somebody says, "Hey, online, hey, I want to sell my bib and stuff." That's not possible. So just make sure that you understand that, because those questions still come up, and to me, it's mind-boggling how it's right here. And then if they ever get banned, they sit there going like, well, it wasn't my fault. It's right here. So eligibility, this is a real good one. So participants, so I'm going to start off at the top one. All participants for a 5K distance must be at least 5 years of age or older on race day to participate, and must be able to complete the 5K on their own. I think it's really, really cool. You know how I feel about watching the children run. I think it's amazing. I think it's cool. And I love to see them because they're starting their life pretty active. Participants for a 10K distance must be 10 years of age or older. Participants for a half marathon must be 14 years of age or older. A marathon, 18 years or older, okay? And Goofies or Dopey challenge, and so it's probably going to be for every major challenge, is going to be 18 or older. I'm going to guess, it's 14 or older because since it's a half marathon. So proof of time, we've kind of gone over this, but we'll just say a little bit of, read a little bit of this. So if you claim that you're finished the marathon under 5 hours or less, or a half marathon 2.5 hours or less, then you will have to submit proof of time. If it's anything above that, then you don't have to. We do not accept self-time training and virtual runs as proof of time. So you can't time yourself and go like, hey, I did it. It's got to be it's usually a United States track and field accredited run. And so there's a bunch of them in your area. Make sure that you get one there. And again, it goes by saying that if you do not have this by July 1st, which is already passed, then it doesn't matter. Pacing requirements. I told you I was going to go over some of this with my own opinions. So you must maintain a minimum of 16-minute per mile pace for all participants for all races and distances. Again, the only exception as of now is the 5K because it is not timed, so they don't really look at that. But it's here. So when people say, I didn't know this, I didn't realize it's right here, so please read this before that, or if you're watching this video, you know. A training pace of 15 minutes per mile pace is recommended. I have actually upped it because I've seen the runs, and I say this all the time. Try to get as close to 14-minute per mile pace, because you are going to be intrigued by the characters. You are going to have to go to the restroom. You are going to, it's going to happen that you're going to sit there going like, man, it's a lot hotter than where I trained, and so I'm going to have to slow it down even more. So, but if you train at a certain pace, you're going to be able to overcome a lot of these. So I always recommend 14-minute pace. And so whether it's walk, run, but remember this, it's a 14-minute per mile pace, even if it's walk, run. So what that means, if you're doing a whole mile, your running pace it can be at 14 minutes per mile. But if you do the walk and it goes over, that's not a 14-minute per mile. So your average pace has to be 14-minute per mile. So the same thing is going to be for the 15-minute if you listen to them. And so that's it. So in other words, don't just, when you're running, especially if you walk run, when you're running, if you're doing 15-minute per mile, that means you got to be actually probably running at about 14, or you're training at 14-minute per mile. But that whole mile has to be there. In other words, do not pause your Garmin when you're walking. You got to make sure that you get there. Okay. Pace cyclists will be on the course, indicating when participants are behind pace by waving a red flag at each mile marker according to official pace time. If you reach a mile marker and the red flag waving, please note you're behind the required pace, and you will be picked up and transported. So fortunately, I've seen it many, many times, and it's hard to watch, but man, I really do. I feel for them, but it is part of the run. Again, it's black and white. So start group and bib assignments. So participants must pick up their own Run Disney event bib during regularly scheduled hours during the race weekend. Individuals not able to pick up their Run Disney events bib on behalf of others. So you cannot say, hey, my friend's not going to be there on time, so I'm going to pick it up for her. You cannot do that. Just think about the liabilities. People can steal bibs in that scenario. So Please remember to fill out the emergency and so forth and so on. Now, with that said here, I was just going to piggyback, and I'm not sure if it'll say it, but I'm going to just say this, is that don't always really, unless it's a really emergency, don't always count on emergency pickup. They can stop that at any time. So it says here in black and white they're not going to have any, but they have had it. What I think is going to happen is if more and more and more people start just, I'm just going to show up and I'm not going to care. I'm not going to go pick it up. I'm going to pick it up the morning of. You're going to be shocked. You're going to show up one morning and they're going to say, sorry, we tried, to be as nice as possible. Things that happen, such as there was weather-related incidents in one of the runs where a Run Disney understood that people were being delayed by record numbers. So they actually themselves, had the emergency pickup, and I saw the line. It was really, really long. But try to counter as much as you can. I completely understand. A lot of people will sit there going like, hey, why don't you get there a couple of days earlier? You have family, you have work, you have a lot of different things to balance in life. So try your hardest to do that. If you can't, just understand that you might show up that morning and they're going to say, sorry, I know we've done it in the past, but we can't do it anymore. So just remember that's in black and white here. All participants must have a valid photo ID in order to pick up their Run Disney event bib. So you can have a driver's license, passport, military ID, government-issued ID. If you do not have one, we cannot issue you your Run Disney. No exceptions will be made. So don't just be sitting there going like, but I got a note from my doctor. No, that's not going to work. It's the responsibility of participants to wear the Run Disney event bib during the Run Disney event. So we've gone over that. And so make sure that you can always see that. Safety reminders. And this is going to go on again when they bring out the event guide. A lot of these are going to be on there. So costumes and bags are subject to inspection. So again, there's going to be a certain costume guidelines. Weapons, I'm not even going to, guns and all that stuff, weapons are not allowed. Don't even try that. If you have something that's fake, they might take it away from you depending on how hard it is or whatever. It says foam swords and all plastic lightsabers may be permitted, but they may not exceed basically 3 feet in length. For everybody's safety, selfie sticks, baby joggers, strollers, baby carriers, backpacks, skates, scooters, bicycles, skateboards, or animals of any kind are prohibited from the course and event staging areas. Violators will be removed, transported to the finish line. Now, there is one exception. The next one, service animals are permitted to be on the course with proper approvals from Run Disney. In order to grant the approval, make sure that you contact Run Disney. You cannot contact me and say, hey, can I take one? I'm going to tell you, I don't know. You're going to have to contact Run Disney. And God bless you. I love animals on the course. I think I've seen some of the best behaved dogs on the course and stuff, but that's it. So the main ones are going to be the safe selfie sticks, anything that can expand. So just be careful with that. And it does say backpacks, but I do see people with their running backpacks, and they've been allowing those. I just think anything that doesn't protrude back, anything that when you turn is not going to hit anybody. I've been hit many times, so by different things, and I've been hit by backpacks, but not at a Run Disney event. So headphones are discouraged due to audio messages placed throughout the course. Caution runners. Speed bump ahead. Caution athletes. Whatever it is, I like it. It's part of the run. So any participant under the Run Disney event age requirement may not be permitted. Only required. So in other words, don't try to get in somebody in there who's younger or stuff. So for safety, all the runners must be the following items will be prohibited from the start, finishing, staging areas. Flags of any kind that are larger than 3 by 5 feet. And how the flag is intended to be carried. Flag poles cannot be longer than 4 feet, have the diameter more of 4 inches. I have seen actually people run with flags, but again, they do it the proper way. Poles can be made of wood, plastic, and or PVC. Poles made of metals are not allowed. In other words, if you turn and you hit somebody, you want to cause the least amount of damage. I think wood, plastic, and PVC might hurt. Metal is going to hurt. So only poles with rounded or flat ends are allowed. That's going to be very obvious. So no sharp ends are going to be allowed. Flag harnesses will be permitted if the participant bib is not covered. So that's it. So it does say Run Disney reserves the right to deny the presence of flags during the Run Disney event that considers inappropriate or that could detract from the experience of other runners. I'm going to say it. Don't take anything political. The American flag to me is not political. It stands for a country. It stands for our country. It stands for the United States of America. But don't take anything political. It's not right. You're gonna And to be honest with you, when you take something like that, to me, you're basically saying, I want to cause some kind of negative, the negative feeling, and so I will never do that. I don't believe in that. But don't do that. So, while participants are welcome to take pictures, selfie sticks are prohibited in all areas. Again, for the simple reason that you might extend that stick, hit somebody. Costumes. I'm not going to go over this a lot because we're going to go over this a lot in when I do the breakdown of the expo. What's it called? The digital event guide. So the only thing is, it must be family friendly, not obstructive, not offensive. You can't do anything like that. They can't drag on the ground. It's going to be pretty obvious. They can't, layers are okay as long as they're not out. Anything that can be offensive, that can hit somebody, that, so don't do that. Theme shirts, blouses, and sweatshirts and hats are acceptable. So I've worn, we love our volunteers, so forth and so on. So the next one is weather. So weather, and this is one of those that you really, really have to watch the updates. I will try to update whenever I'm there to try to let you guys know. But the Run Disney event will be held rain or shine. If there's lightning in the area, they may delay the start. Depending on the intensity, they might even cancel it. I have been to both. Earlier this year, we got they shortened the course, and then they shortened it again because of the lightning. In 2017, they completely canceled the half marathon in January because of the lightning storms that were going to hit. So, and before you guys get upset or anything like that, just remember that there are not only runners at stake, but the people that are now working, they're no longer volunteers. They are at risk. They don't have cover. A lot of them don't do. A lot of the characters that you're going to see out there, and they don't have cover. So it just depends, and it's up to them whether they're going to postpone it, delay it, shorten it, whatever it is. So please don't get mad. Do not get political about it either. It is what it is. So gear bag check, we've already kind of gone in there. The only thing that I will add is in the bottom part, it says Run Disney is not responsible for any lost, damage, or stolen items, including those left in gear bag check. With that said, I've never ever had a problem with that. Now we're gonna go to athletes with disabilities, or what I started referring them as athletes with magical abilities. You must be registered to meet the age, safety, and equipment requirements of the specific race. And it gives you basically what you can use. Canes, crutches, walkers, trekking poles can be used. So you just have to be careful with them, not to hit anybody. But again, everybody that I have actually met is very, very careful. They use it for their own benefit and so forth. So knee scooters are not permitted in the start group. I believe I've seen some, but I have not. I have not really interacted with a lot of people that have that. So just go over this, especially if you're an athlete with a magical ability. Push-rim wheelchairs. So there is, they do start out with the wheelchair athletes, and so they're actually, and again, this is beyond my pay grade because I do see people that actually start with the chairs, and I've actually ran with some people that have the chairs and they're pushing themselves, so that's there. So the hand cycles, so this is, there's a hand cycle, so they're there. So again, if you have some of these, make sure that you contact Disney, Run Disney, and let them know, because again, this is beyond my pay grade. Wheelchair duo, this I have actually seen and hope to actually help a couple people this coming January. They just start way in front of me and they're faster than I am. So, but again, the key word right here was registration for the event is required for both participants. So make sure that you understand that. And so you do need to pass by the disability tent to pass the safety check. That's actually, important. So that's it. But yes, it can be done. Human guides. I just actually reached out, or somebody reached out to me. I kind of reached out to them. They reached out to me because I would love to help out. And anybody who sees, especially my videos, I always encourage them. I think that they're amazing, they're great, and everything. So if some of them require a human guide, that is just somebody to make sure that they're in the safe position. So far, so the registration of the event is required for both the participant and the event guide. So make sure that this is there. Service animal, you can do it. They're trained to, and actually this is interesting. It says a service animal is a dog or a miniature horse that is trained to do the work to perform tasks for and assist an individual with a disability. Now, I've never seen a horse, but I've seen quite a few dogs. Love them. So just make sure that they're safe and you're safe. Special request, please reach out to Run Disney. But again, we see our sponsors. So now we have gone over one of the events. Now I'm just going to click on the Disneyland. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to go back and go to Disney World, and I'm going to show you something that's open, because Springtime Surprise is still open. Now I do not know why they're still open, but the yoga is still open, the 10-miler, the challenge, and the surprise splash. My guess is that the yoga will sell out. It's just a matter of time. So will the 10-miler, and so will the surprise challenge. I think the splash will not sell out. So that's why I like going to the party, because there's not that many people there. And I hardly ever go to any of the water parks, so I think that's pretty cool. But again, so now you can actually see that. And when we look at events and we look at the 10-miler, it's going to be a little bit different, because it's going to be a green bar here that's going to say register now and stuff. So anybody who wants to register, go ahead and click on that. So now we're going to go back and we are going to click on the Disneyland. And let's go to the one that's coming up this January. So on top, as usual, you're going to have the theming, the race day theming. And so you're going to have that right there. Everything is sold out. So everything is basically going to be the same. That blue bar on the top, or the bar with the blue lettering on the top that says Weekend Overview, Events, Runner Information, Expo, and Race Policies is the same. So the runner information, when it becomes that the digital event guide becomes live, it'll be a blue bar where you'll be able to see it. So that'll be live. It'll go live. Okay. So now we're going to go to events. We're going to go to virtual. So virtual series, the first one was the summer series. That's already gone. The 12Ks of Christmas. So I believe, again, the theming will be on the top just like it normally is. This one starts in 11 days, 9 hours, 19 minutes, 12 seconds. So they're all going to have their countdown. So you're going to have your event overview and you're going to have your racing policies. These ones are going to be a lot more lenient because you're on your own. All you have to do basically is turn it in. So this one is still not sold out. So right now it basically says $267. Register now. They will mail you everything, so that should be coming pretty soon. But it is pretty cool, and you're going to get a few things. And again, our celebrated charity, Toys for Tots. So that's going to be a pretty cool one. Racing policy, it's a lot less because you're just going to do this on your own. So do I think they're going to add another one? I think there's a possibility. So now we're going to go to the Coast to Coast Challenge. Now, if you notice this one, this is for 2024. On the top left-hand corner, if I'm looking at it, it says 2024. I believe the 2025 one should be out any day now. I do believe that it'll be out, obviously, before the end of the year. And how to qualify, and you will have tracks. So if it's the same as last year, which I believe it's going to be, you're going to have track 1 and you're going to have track 2. So which means you're going to be able to qualify for more than one coast-to-coast medal. So, and then it's going to tell you exactly what you can do. So track 1 here was you got to finish one of the marathon, something in the half marathon or the marathon at Walt Disney World Marathon, then the Dumbo Double Dare or Disneyland anything, the half marathon. So, and over here, the track 2 would be the Princess Half, the Fairy Tale Challenge, the Springtime Surprise 10-miler, the Wine and Dine 2-course challenge, and any Disneyland one. So it's going to give you this, and there is a breakdown here. Now, the important information, guests will not need to register for the Coast to Coast with a separate registration. They already know. And when you get your digital event guide, it will say Coast to Coast, and it will say either eligible or not eligible. Both qualifying races must be completed in the same calendar year. Run Disney Coast to Coast race challenge medals will be available after crossing the finish line of the second race. So not the first race. So if you finish the marathon weekend, you're not going to get it until you finish Disneyland half marathon weekend. So you must be 14 years or older to participate. Please be aware that participants in virtual races does not count eligibility for coast to coast. So you can't do a virtual run. And they're, I don't think they're even long enough, but you can't do that. So, and then the frequently asked questions, find a race that suits you, and then of course the bottom stuff here. So now we've gone over events. Now we're going to go over training programs. It's going to go a little bit faster now. So training ways to succeed with Jeff Galloway. So they're going to give you some downloadable information here for beginner runners. It's going to be breaking down into experienced runners, and that's it. And then it's going to give you some different training programs that you're going to be able to use right here, but they're mainly going to start with especially the experienced runners are going to start with the half. The beginner runner starts with the 5K, so that's there. So if you want to do something right there, that's a good way of doing it. So training right here, we're going to click on training again. Running tips. Run walk method, that's the Jeff Galloway deal. Proper form, running form. So this is one that I think this is one where I sit here going like, proper running form should be really, really coached at an individual base. So in other words, people need to see you, a coach needs to see you to see how you're running. But it is true that if you do run, if you have a certain running pace, a certain running gait that is off, it could throw your running pace off. So that's it. So running in the dark, wear reflective gear. Keep your motivation, overcoming off days, beating mental blocks, training locations. The final preparation, days before the race. Again, this is something that you can go over. I'll always be doing the video, so you can actually listen to what I do. And then the first of the introduction, first official guidebook by Run Disney. So you get to purchase that if you want to. So. Then, of course, the great Jeff Galloway honors. He was an Olympian, great man. I always look at it this way. He's a great coach, but he's an even better man. So that's that. Plan your trip. So now we're going to go over it. So now you got Disney. This is Disneyland, I'm sorry. So you're going to be able to look at everything here. The Disneyland Park, Disney California Adventure Park, Downtown Disney. See accommodations. And they will also even help you with area stuff here, too. So now plan your trip. Let's go to Walt Disney World. Obviously, we have more parks. We have more theme parks. They do offer, I think, if you do the any of the water parks, they give you a discount. And so you can see that. Customized Run Disney package. Usually, again, it's going to be a hotel reservations. If you have not, what I always tell people is get the hotel reservation as soon as you can. That way, you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is put a down payment. You usually have at least 5, 6, 7 days before to cancel with no loss. If you cancel after that, you lose the one night. But you have up until when you get there to pay off the balance. So it's going to be pretty easy. So now charity and travel providers. So up here, select travel provider charities, and it's going to have Walt Disney World Marathon. If I click down the bar, I'm going to be able to see all the participating charities. Now, not all of them are live. So in other words, the Achilles International on the left side, the second one, it's not live. It's not clickable. So if I try to click it, it won't click on there. A Running Passion does, so forth and so on. So any of those, click on. So you're going to be able to see if they have your race, what the fundraising goals are. So let's go ahead and do one that I know about. So you're going to be able to see what you're going to be able to do. So Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy. It's good. Oh, this one's a funny one. So whenever you're going to go away, this will pop up. So you're going to go over here, and so I'll go over this. But this is a Parent Project Parent Project MD. So this is for Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. I've done a lot of stuff with them. So up here, it's going to be 20 years, whatever. So it'll give you what's sold out here is now as I click up. So sold out. Dopey is sold out, but it was $1,800, the fundraising commitment. And I do know that with 688 registration fee counts towards the $1,800. So that's one of the things you're going to want to look at is which one of these includes the fees, which one of them doesn't, because it might be less, but you still have to pay for the race, and it does include the fundraising and stuff. So right here, the half marathon is still open here. The 10K and the 5K are still open. So if you guys are interested, you can go on here. You're just going to click on register as an individual, and then you're going to be over here, and you're going to be able to look at whatever is open. The half marathon, so that's it. So you're going to click on one, so forth and so on. I'm not going to go through this, but you kind of get the idea. And if it's a different race, you're just going to click on here, pick your race, and pick your charity. Okay. Results. This is an interesting one too, because up here at the top, again, we're looking at the top. So under the picture of the runner, you know, right there, you're gonna right here it says Springtime Surprise Weekend 2023. You click down, it's going to give you some other ones, including the Superhero Half Marathon, Star Wars, and it's going to give you the light side, the dark side, so the rivalry and the dark side, okay? And over here, it's going to give you some years. So now the years that open up, so Springtime Surprise has only been going on for 3 years. So that's why we only see 3 years. But let's see if we do Star Wars, okay? So it's going to give me 2019. So that was the only year. Now, people will ask, hey, how come I did the Star Wars run in 2018? How come they don't have it there? Well, that was when it was run by Active. So Active, so you're going to have to go and log into there and get the results. So if you want to see your results, you can click on Get Results, View Results, Download Certificate. Now, not all the runs, and let's go back to see if it does this. But, okay, so this one is Star Wars Rival Run. So let's go to, let's see, Princess, and let's go back to 2017. Get results, okay. If you notice, it says view your results, but there is no certificate. Well, it's past the time, so it does not let me do anything there. So now let's go over to the next one is the community. About Run Disney. So we're going to get About Run Disney. So this is very self-explanatory. It's just going to tell you kind of like a synopsis of what it is. We've already seen it. And this is just a clickable stuff. Oh, I like that we're running in Galaxy's Edge. And then run wherever you are. Find a race. Sign up for stuff. So, okay. So now we're going to go to community again. Run Disney blog. Like I said, there's some of the stuff that's pretty good. I really wish they would do a little bit better job, but they seem to post a lot more stuff on social media. So, but they do stuff. Looks like once a month, sometimes a little bit more often. But that way, you can see, and then you can browse by category and month. Club Run Disney is the interesting one. So this one, if you look at it here. Silver membership, $289, is still open. What advantage does that give you? Not really much. So as a matter of fact, a lot of people I know have signed up for this. They get the extra little perks, and you get it on your bib, even though it doesn't really mean anything. But you get that extra medal. Now, when it does go on sale next year, if anything opens up for gold or platinum, you can get in there in case that they are open. But as you can tell here, both of them are sold out. Now, this is where you can actually, if you're able to get in there, and again, registration will open up. It'll tell you up here. Now this is past, so it's probably gonna happen about the same time next year. So about August of next year, you're gonna do this. And so you can register early. You can go into the expo early. And some memberships you can even move up corral. So that's actually pretty cool. Or that can be pretty cool. Why Run Disney? I've never tried this, but one of these days I'm going to do this. This is your story. And so one of the things that I love about Run Disney is the fact that everybody has a story. And it's so super cool to listen to the stories if you just pay attention. And Run Disney, Riley Claremont does a fantastic job. I love listening to Riley. A lot of people have reached out to me. I can't always hear him because I'm way in the back a lot of times, so I can't always hear him. But the stories of why you run Disney are amazing, and I love hearing them. Love sharing them. We're just going to move on for now. So help and support. Contact us. So this is going to be real simple. It's just a little form. So this is going to be a very simple form to do like an email, quick email. You can ask them, when do they get back to you? They sometimes get back to you right away. Sometimes it takes them a week. I would just be patient with them. If you call, it's going to be almost the same thing. So email sign up, it's the same thing that we got before. So it's just to get some information. Does it always work? No, but it can. Frequently we ask questions. I like this one too. So if you have any kind of questions, you can look in here. Registration, how do I sign my digital waiver? So it's going to give you a step-by-step on how to do that. How do I know if I'm registered for a Run Disney race? That's a good one too. So on down the line, account management information, looking at general information on the left, Club Run Disney, My Disney Experience, account information, virtual runs, coast to coast. So it does all this. So a lot of times, people get frustrated and then they look and then it's right here. So the answer to the question is going to be right here. So we got that there. Now the last thing we're going to look at is manage account. So we might even skip in here. So I am going to skip. So next time you see me, we're going to be inside. Okay, so now I'm getting into my account. So it's going to load. And so manage, right here, I'm going to log in. So remember, your login information is going to be the exact same information from all of your My Disney Experience, the D23, the Disney Plus, and so forth. And it says my name. Your next one is a 2025 Run Disney Club membership, and still your last event. So right here. So it's going to give me all this information. But Manny, look, there's some runs, but I'm registered for the Disneyland Half, and I'm registered for two. I'm registered for the challenge and the 5K. So what you do is you're going to click on there. It's going to give you your events, and you can see them right here. So you can see them all right here. So everything that you're registered, you can see it right here, past events. Now, another thing that people want to do is now you know how to get in here. So now you're going to see the dashboard. So we're going to go back to the dashboard, and we're going to click on your events, and it's going to give you past events. So you can sit here and say, man, look at what I participated in, right here. Now, buy products. So this one it took me a little while the other day to load up. But here goes the deal. And actually I did this, and then I did this, and then it went, then it loaded. All right, so right here, so anything that you're registered for, like the Disneyland Half, Walt Disney World Marathon, Run Disney Springtime, and Disney Princess, I'm registered for that. So I can actually see what I can purchase. So people would sit there going like, man, I'm registered, but I don't know where to look to see it. And so this is where you can actually look at here. So if you like something here, let's say I like this backpack, this Loungefly and stuff. Quick add. So I'm going to add it, and I'm going to purchase it for $79. Now be careful. The only thing that happens here is if you purchase something here, it's not going to give you the discount if you're an annual pass holder at Disney World or a Magic Key holder at Disneyland, a DVC club member. You're not going to get any of your discount. So you're going to have to pay this. What used to happen in the past is you could buy it, then you can go and return it and then rebuy it with the discount. They do not allow that anymore. So I always tell people, be very, very careful. They do not give refunds anymore unless it's the wrong size, it's broken, it's defective, something like that. So be careful before you decide to buy something. Make sure that you really, really want it, or you can give it away to somebody who really wants it. So that's it. But if you want to look at specific races, let's say I just want to look at Marathon Weekend that's coming up. So I can click off of the other ones and Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend. So I'm going to be exactly what's there. Does things sell out here? Yes, they do. So just be aware that things will sell out. But again, if you're a Club Run Disney, you're going to get there early. If you can get into the virtual queue early and you can go in there early, you might be able to get it. But that is basically it. Does anybody have any other questions? So that was really, really long. Sorry about that, but I just wanted to be as complete as possible so that way you guys have the ammunition to go out there and make the best decision possible. Are these runs right for you? So do you have any, like I just said right now, do you guys have any other questions? Please ask them down below. Please, on social media, again, Manny Runs Disney. Just message me and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I usually try to message back as quickly as possible. But again, now that you made it all the way through, I said it at the beginning, I say it again. What happens is I have been able to get some experiences that are going to be happening at Disney World and at Disneyland, and I am going to basically maybe take some of you guys along. And I think these are going to be some cool little experiences. But I'll talk about them. I'm going to start really revealing them in the next video. In the next video, I'm going to do the how-to register, the tips and tricks to register, and then I will be talking about that. So that's going to be something that's coming up. Without further ado, I'm just going to do what I usually do. Create a magical day, guys. Create a magical run. And guys, see you sooner than later.